My name is Donna Hurst, and I was raised in a pretty normal home, a nuclear family. My dad was a pastor. When I was of college age, I met a young man who was in the military, and we got married. We started to have children and had a relatively decent life. He went into the law enforcement field, and as a result of some stress that he was feeling between the children and his occupation, he began to use methamphetamines. And the result of his drug abuse was abuse toward me. And it originally started as verbal, it degraded into physical. For 3 years, I spent running and hiding from him, and because of his occupation, he had access to a lot of information, and he would always find me. And when he found me, he would physically, quote unquote, punish me for leaving him. There were points where he'd put a knife to my throat. I know what it's like to have a gun put in my face and face death and not know when those types of incidents are going to occur. And I became very desperate, and I really just wanted to die. After one particularly violent incident, I remember just looking up toward the sky and just asking God, please kill me, because he's going to kill me and I don't want him to do that. And I, as clear as day, heard the Lord speak to me and tell me, it will end. He will be silenced. It wasn't an immediate release, but it was a couple of months. Some real miracles occurred. My ex-husband was actually arrested and sent to prison for his crimes. I was granted a lifetime restraining order against my ex-husband, and I was given that opportunity to heal. So PTSD manifested itself to me in a couple of different ways. Some of them were unique to what I experienced. I had nightmares where I felt I couldn't be helped, where law enforcement, I was calling for law enforcement and nobody was answering 911 and they weren't responding. I had situations where I would feel uncomfortable and rather shaky being in an enclosed room, that I just didn't want to be in a spot where I couldn't escape. But the Lord helped me through that. He brought healing. I was able to meet with a really good counselor who gave me some tips on how to deal with my feelings. One of the theme verses for my life is to comfort others as I have been comforted, and sometimes I've had to be pushed to do that. I was able to co-found a nonprofit organization in Sacramento, California, and work with stalking victims and domestic violence victims and law enforcement and inmates in prisons. One year I was back in Washington, D.C., and I was asked to testify to Congress about the Violence Against Women Act and what had helped me through the processes that were put in place through the police departments. And when I was back, there was October, and I kind of flashed back to, that time where I looked up to God and asked him to end it. And I heard his voice, say it would end, my ex-husband would be silenced. And I was standing in front of the U.S. Capitol, and I looked up and I saw the dome, and I thought, wow, he ended it, and my ex-husband was silenced, and I got a voice, and I thank God for that.